Hello guys, for the last time, we have one last match today between Apple King of Kings and Balrogs. Winner takes all, and Balrogs needs to fix some issues in the second game if they really want to take this series. A little bit of a crazy Dota that didn't really pan out for them. Let's see if they can make this work for Apple King of Kings. And my fellow panel members, we get a Mars for Dunya. Hype is back.
Yes, that's cool.
What did you think of the Enchanters last game, by the way, Duster? Because they just banned this. What do you think it was a much better game?
Like the game was fine, but the laning phase again, like he blocked his own camp. I didn't understand that first minute. But yeah, it had a much better game for sure.
Yeah. All right. I was also a little bit disappointed. What could you explain to me the camp blocking to me now since I have you on panel? Because I was really questioning that.
I also don't know. Maybe they didn't want the enemy to pull solo early on, since he didn't go for enchant level 1. He had heal, so that's the only reason I can think of.
But of course, that's because he went heal level 1, which is a whole other thing on Enchanters, right? But
yeah.
All right. Balrogs trying out the Snapfire again. Did you think the Snapfire was the problem last game? Would you like it actually as the offlaner against Sexy Fat? Do you feel betrayed that they run as a 4?
No, I think it can work on both roles. It seems I don't know how to pronounce Zeka and Arzen do it, so they have this luxury. They can choose later in the draft. They can flex it.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay. Same with the Tiny as well, so they're going to go for the same idea. What, were you guys opposed to the draft? I mean, you guys both supported the draft for Balrogs. You thought it was 100% execution then?
Radiant team back.
Yeah, I think so. I think their draft is fine, even if they want to redo this opening. It looks really good by how much they flex. We are even like surprised they went for the Tiny mid and a new offlaner.
Monkey King for Mini. That is a pick I wanted to see.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Why is Mini's Monkey King so good, Mr. Sexy Fat? I know you're also a Monkey King player. So.
I think he just really knows the hero very well. Like, he's the best Monkey King I ever seen, to be honest. He played too many matches, I believe, and yeah, masterized the hero.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's high praise coming from you. Well, how do you think this is already a really solid start for Apple King of Kings? Where do you see the tempo going here, Duster? Last time you told me you wanted a faster carry. Are they more flexible this time?
I would still prefer them to go to this faster carry. Like game 2, they look so much better with Benny being able to play the game faster and early on. Like they took the enemy tower at 6 minutes. Like they know how to play fast Dota, and it's actually very cool to see. So I expect them to do the same thing.
It is their bread and butter. You know, actually, when I was watching last game, Bars and T aside, Balrog's playstyle reminded me of Binomista's like a year and a half ago. It was this kind of, we run at them no matter what, and if we win the team fights, we win the game, and if we lose the team fights, we lose the game. That was it. And after, over some time, they refined that into what it is now, but it used to be that they had essentially Balrog style of always fight, always fight. So, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I do think that is their bread and butter. It's also what they beat Thunder Awaken with in the regional finals, Duster, if you remember that game.
Remember, Sexy Fat was playing.
Oh, it's true. How did you feel, Sexy Fat, there? Was Pog game? You played so well, Sexy Fat. Congrats. Actually, can you give us some insight on that, Sexy Fat? What is it? Well, I mean, you've played with the team multiple times. You were also with them in one of the Binomistas or etc. iterations. What is it that works so well about their early game aggression? Why do you guys feel so comfortable with it?
I think it's mostly because of hero pool. It kind of fits, and they study a lot how to play aggressive. I think they are one of the teams I play that most play aggressive, and they really study the game for it. I believe it's because of that.
Can you explain a little bit more what you mean with study? Like, do you mean timings and stuff, or what?
Watch a lot of replays. Yeah, timings, like what aggressive plays. They watch other aggressive teams playing, and they see which type of aggressive plays they do. You know, they find patterns and stuff, and they try to reproduce on their games. I believe that Nuage likes a lot to watch like a bunch of replays every day. So he always comes up with new stuff.
That's very cool, actually. That's nice. Did you feel like Benny fit the style as well? Because he's more of the farming kind of carry, the Gyrocopter, Luna and stuff. Or is it because they're a bit faster than, I don't know, Spectre, for example.
I do not understand really well the question.
Sorry, do you feel like Benny fits a style too, or he's naturally in that style? Because you talk about hero pool, or do you think that he is fits to the team?
I think he likes more the heavy carries that go jungle, but the Wraith King is a hero like exclusively he likes a lot, and he enjoys to play Wraith King, so he will enjoy to play like a fast game with Wraith King. So I think it suits because of this hero he really likes it.
Fair enough. Duster, we get the IO now. Are you in the same pool of players that think that this hero is still broken in this patch? Or do you think there's a lot more ways to deal with it?
Wouldn't say broken, but definitely one of the strongest.
Okay.
And because you need to pair up with a good hero for the hero to be strong. So I wouldn't say it's broken. Broken would be a hero that you can pick no matter what. And I think you need always good combinations with IO. And they have Tiny. I'll be exciting if they go for a Tiny carry this game.
Yes, indeed. They have run Tiny already in 2 positions, so, Tiny carry will be giving the 3rd one. That'd be
One
very
more.
interesting. Exactly. Are there any other IO partners that you'd like to see that are pretty strong in this game?
They could go for Loon again. It is pretty decent.
CK maybe too?
Yeah, Wraith King could also work.
No, CK, Chaos
Oh,
Knight.
CK? Yeah, CK would be a very fast-paced game, for sure.
And he has a good matchup, I presume, against the Mars as well in the lane.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Yeah. How would you answer the IO pickup? Like, Duster, when you play the IO, what are the heroes you hate playing against the most? Not specific heroes, but like what playstyles do you hate the most?
A lot of AoE teamfight. Something like a green stroke that's always gonna latch you to your carry, and like double spells. Something like a disruptor.
What about the Skyroth?
Working because you can always burst a guy with Mars.
Right.
I don't think it takes a lot of time for Io to have her mech and a Holly Locket and to be able to heal through this Sky ultimate. It could work.
Also one of Hannes's signature heroes as well. Loves that Skyroth mage.
True, very very strong lane.
Also pick up the Ogre Magi, so they set up themselves for Benny's favorite heroes. Luna, Gyrocopter, all these guys love receiving the buffs. Balrogs. How are they gonna answer here?
Radiant team back.
Razor. An
Okay.
answer for
We have
Monkey.
seen- I think that's what they beat Beast Ghost with, right? Wasn't it Razor IO? Were you in that panel, Duster? I don't remember.
I don't remember actually.
10 seconds remaining.
So I remember them picking a Razor. I don't know if it was Razor IO, but they ran that
Yeah,
in the
they did.
offlane,
5 seconds.
right?
Yeah, they
Okay,
did.
yeah. So
And they had
pretty
Tiny
interesting. Oh, what do you remember if they played Tiny mid? Was it Roboteta Tiny?
Yeah, it was
Team back.
Tiny mid.
Okay. What do you think of the Razor IO as a combo? Is that strong too, or is it more about the tempo of these two heroes?
Radiant team back.
It's super strong, honestly. For me, one of the strongest combinations, but it's not very popular in South America because it's a very
Dire team
like
back.
Razor as a carry is a very position 2, you know? It's not like an extremely heavy carry that South America like to play. But in Europe, for example, it's very famous, this combination, and it works super well.
Okay. How could Apu King's answer here, Sexy Fat? What carries would you like to run against this Razor IO combo?
10 seconds remaining.
I think the Gyro or the Luna, like the two signature heroes of Benny, and I think it fits here. It's good for the game, comfort zone. I think they might
You're not
go for
afraid
one
of-
of them.
You're not afraid of Razor being able to just static link and run around them? Because they're pretty static carries in the team fight.
I don't know, cause Monkey will have a lot of damage.
Okay.
So the carry, he will need to pick one, and the other can hit him freely. I see it this
fair
way.
enough. So not worry about the Razor as your plan. Just pick something you're comfortable with that can utilize the draft well.
Dire team
Because if they start, the fight starts and he starts, for example, sucking TB, Monkey drops his ultimate and they just run in the middle of the ultimate. Razor cannot follow it, so I think they have ways to protect themselves from this Razor.
Yeah, I like this. On the last TP pick,
10
Balrogs.
seconds remaining.
I don't know what they're missing honestly because everything can be flexed. Do they have an option of picking something here that has a lot of magical damage against the TB, Duster? What are you thinking? How do you answer this final TB pick?
Yeah, they could go for an offlaner here and play the Snapfire 4 Tiny Meat. Tiny Meat should be decent against Aeroblade. They have a lot of burst on all stages of the game. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's very interesting. Is that Robothetas? Yes, it is.
Oh,
That's his favorite old hero, the Wind Ranger.
against Monkey King, I suppose. You're
Snap
never gonna
3
get a
again.
Jingo stack.
Let's go.
All right, Sexy Fat. What team are you going for then? After saying "Let's go," you sold yourself down the river.
I'll have to go with. I will curse Apple Kings.
Okay, he's
I
gonna
have to go
curse
with them.
Apple Kings. Duster, what team are you gonna choose to curse this time around?
Game for Razor to just suck and do damage. There's constantly things hitting him.
Well, we're gonna have to see if the panel will indeed curse Apple King of Kings, as they say, the worst enemy of a Brazilian is another Brazilian, or if this time Balrogs will falter to Apple King of Kings after a lackluster game 2. We're gonna go over to our casters, Epulze and SeekNStrike, to further break down this game. Thank you indeed. The panel has chosen who to curse Apple King of Kings. Who are we cursing today, Richie? What do you think?
I think it's hard to curse Apu Kings when they have the mini Monkey King. You're like, this guy is kind of crazy on the hero, right? That being said, that they do hunt him pretty well. I'm also a little bit shocked to not see the Tiny and Io. Once again, this is the second time we see Tiny in the series not be a core, especially with the Io. I just like, it's so weird to me. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of untapped potential in this Balrogs draft with this pick. And against the mini Monkey King, maybe he can make a little bit more work. I'm going to go for Apu Kings on this one.
All right, full curse for Apple King of Kings. Let's go. Steam ahead. Into the draft, into the game.
What about you? You never said
I'm a
anything.
host.
No, you're
I
not.
don't have to say
You're casting Apple Plus. You're caster Apple Plus.
Oh,
Get off of that fence. Get off of that fence.
I think all you fools are misunderstanding the power of the Balrogs draft. I actually do think that the draft is pretty good. I don't mind. So I'll be honest. If I'm just looking at the teams themselves, like if I'm not looking with the logos, I probably would go for Apu's. For Balrog's draft. I think Apu is a considerably better team. That's what's going to give him the edge. But I do like this draft a lot because it's a draft that allows you to make a lot of mistakes. If I'm honest with you. That's one of the beauty of it. You just run at the enemy. You can die a bunch of times. Doesn't really matter. Your team doesn't really need that. You just need to keep the enemy at low net worth by attacking them constantly, over and over and over and over again. And they have a really good lineup to do that. This is how they beat Beast Coast with also a relatively slow lineup. They also were playing the Terrorblade, and I think it can work against Apple King of Kings as well. I don't think the Monkey King will get online in time to deal with this Razor and Wind Ranger. And I love this Wind Ranger last pick. So I'm gonna try to break that curse.
The Razor is like incredibly fast, right? He basically just needs BKB, and especially with a Wisp, he's gonna be running at you. So that does strike me as incredibly strong. I'm not convinced really by Balrog's ability to really catch these heroes in the first place. Like if they can get on top of Mini Monkey King, for sure he's dead when Razor has BKB, especially when it's 9 and 8 seconds. I'm not sure if I see that happening though this game. I think Serum is a fantastic position 5. I think we saw him, just 2 games now in a row on the Ench, just kind of tanking ganks for his team. He's going to do literally the same thing here on Ogre, right? And if he's in position and can detect these early smokes and these movements from Balrogs when they are looking to play aggressively, I do think Apu Kings can buy themselves enough time for this TB and this Monkey to get online properly. That will be a real test for them, though, this game. That's not to say that Balrogs are weak by any means. In fact, they're stronger earlier. But I think Apu Kings will be able to deal with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I would agree with you. But I also want to play devil's advocate a bit.
I understand.
The strengths
I
of
understand. I think that's going to be the big conflict. That's what we're building. We're hyping up that narrative this game, right? Balrogs, they've got strong lanes. They're going to be able to pop off first. Can Apu Kings resist this? Who knows? We'll see. I also love how Roboseta just has my angel, or is that my angel? Either way, same.
Yeah, my angel. Oof, that's cringe. I'm sorry.
You know,
I'm not a fan of when, like, okay, first of all, I'm a big fan of Depressed Kid. If you guys know that guy from, I forgot what team he's playing on this season, but it was on Empire
we just
before.
say Koma, right?
No, that's aggressive child.
Oh, you're right.
A
my
lot of
bad.
children in Eastern Europe. No,
Yeah,
the press kid is a different one. He's the mid laner, but he had to make fun of all these players. He had like I don't know, a pointed girl, right? Random girl name or something like that. I think it was like his name, which I love it. But I think it's especially cringe when you write in 2 different languages. Just write me, dude. What's the Y for? My angel, my angel. Like, come on.
That's what I figured it was, right? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe
in Peru they make a lot of fun of people, and I agree with this. I also make fun of people in Spain like this that don't speak English, but they use like 3 or 4 English words. I'm like, mate, just say it in Spanish. It's fine. Don't use 3 and 4. It just reinforces the fact that like Smash. Oh my God, Smash always uses English words all the time, and he doesn't speak a lick of English, dude. And it's just cringe. It's just cringe.
Clearly,
I'm
he
sorry.
speaks a lick of English if he can use the 3 or 4 words, right?
He doesn't know what they mean in English, so he just misuses them in Spanish. Like for example, there was a TV show in Spain that I got to criticize live on TV because they told me a guy who doesn't speak English said that a crush means your platonic love, and that you will forever be in love with them. And I was like, that's not what crush means in English. Why are you misusing this word in a different language? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So we are very cringe Spaniards. We are very, very cringe community.
Crush is
Peruvians
what
are better.
You do when you dominate a lane, as already Mini off to a decent
Yeah,
start.
or an energy drink, right? Yeah.
Or an energy drink, or I believe an orange soda. But Mini,
Yes.
he's doing well so far. He's using this Mischief, Mischief, which has a little bit more immunity now, especially with the Shard. Right, yeah, they did change that, but even with the 0.5 seconds and a nice little sidestep there, he's dodged 2 of 2 power shots already, and hasn't had a range creep denied yet, so start for him.
Yeah, for now, I mean, again, I think the lanes should definitely go for Balrog's way. If the lanes don't go Balrog's way, I think this game is over for them, to be honest. Like,
Yes.
to a degree. They don't have to be domination, but they have to at least play even. Right?
Really good. That was a really good trick there by Serum, actually. He had vision of the creep wave on his own hero, but the enemy his allied creeps didn't, so he hid behind the tree to cast Ignite, because he could see both heroes. That was really neat. I never thought to do that on the Ogre. I just always prayed to RNG that, he would pass the second Ignite onto the hero. Always goes to the range creep.
Serum is a clever player. I mean, they were talking about Nuage. I was actually really, really happy that Sexy Fat gave us some insight on how they play, and it was really cool that he told us about how they prepared for aggressive lineups, right? I think a lot of teams, they naturally tend towards aggression because it's the easier style to play, quote-unquote, if you play pubs and you're a good player, right? But it's cool to hear how the team prepares for it. That was a really cool insight from Sexy Fat.
Oh, a really good Ignite onto 2 heroes. Benny is going to even pop the Metamorphosis for this. Looking for the kill onto the Tiny.
I think they... No, they can't kill him. Tiny has boots first item.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, neutrals, they don't fight with each other. Makes sense. Otherwise, they would fight when you stacked.
Yeah, exactly. Neutrals are loyal only to neutrals.
Yeah. It's not really what being neutral means, though, when you think about it.
It's like, can you imagine if, when World War II happens, Switzerland just has a bunch of infighting between each other, like neighbors killing neighbors, it's just a massive civil war?
Or was that not first blood bonus?
Because it was shared. If it's shared, you get the first blood bonus, but it doesn't show.
So the creeps took it. It's a very rich melee creep, then.
No, the creeps didn't take it, just spread among the heroes.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you imagine the bling bling melee creep coming out to play? Now, for now, this early game, it's not that exciting, this early game, because Balrogs hasn't really hit their stride yet, and it's all about them not making mistakes.
Wait, speaking of mistakes? Okay,
yeah, this almost was.
Yeah,
almost was a mistake.
Yeah, definitely underestimating the amount of heals that Wisp can pump in.
It's a tough matchup, though. It's a tough matchup for Razor. In the longer lane, it's easier for Razor because Ponzo's Field has a bigger impact. But I am very surprised. Berna, a Razor player himself, decided to go for Static Link level 2 against the Mars. Not very common to see this in pro games.
Mini is
Berna
also...
might die still. Yeah, they have the Spear. I think he dies with the Spear plus the Bolt. Oh, no. That's the magic stick for Sexy Yogi.
I can tell you are not a Wisp player. He had the stick and the Fairy Fire. He was totally fine there.
Yeah, I don't check the Wisp side. I am a Razor player, though. That's why I can tell you, not a fan of the Static Link level 2. I think you're much better off maxing Ponzo's Field from the get-go. Otherwise, the lane is a bit difficult against Mars.
I would agree with you. Plus, it's not like without a Wisp, or with a Wisp, you're not going to run out of mana to continue spamming Plasma Field, right? Because it's expensive at every level. Which is maybe why you might be dissuaded, but the Wisp is here. Let him be your mana battery. Mid lane, as now I can finally get my point across. Mini is doing so well on this lane. Hey, never mind, I can't.
Sorry. Spoke too soon. Sorry. Go on.
Mini's doing super well in this lane. 22 and... Well, there's the kill. It was top lane, but it was just a self-deny. Mini! He's doing very well in this mid lane. 23 and 8. He's really not getting harassed at all by the power shot too much. Once again, another good mischief, as he even juked me there for a second in the creeps. But he hasn't really... He doesn't have a bottle, and it really looks like he has purchased a bottle with how much regen and how healthy he's looking. Bottom, no. They are fighting.
Avalanche. Nice cookie as well from Argentine. They still have the Scatter Blast, right? No, they don't. They used it early. Benny might just get a kill on Argentine. Finds the death, and it might be Benny's death as well, as the creep is blocking this Tiny.
Treads.
He's trying his best to reach him. Throw the tree. Misses the tree. I don't think the tree would have killed him, though, because of his overwhelming armor anyway. So
yeah,
he would have probably lived anyway. But good attempt.
Overwhelming armor. Indeed a good attempt, indeed. That being
That's
said,
what happens when you get Legion Commander Shard now.
About this mid lane matchup, Robo said that he might not be hitting these power shots onto Mini, but he is at least hitting groups with them really nicely. So his CS is still really good, but Mini is doing exceptional in this lane.
Yes. As you expect from Mini, he's spamming Monkey King. When 65 respects your Monkey King, you know there's something going on there, right? And that wasn't sarcastic, it was genuine. He plays a lot of Monkey King offlane. Hannesis.
Jupiter Hain.
That's what the second point static link allows you, but he's level 4, so he would have had that anyway, right? He was honestly considering going for a point in Storm Surge, because with 1 point in Storm Surge you can run down the Skyreth Mage, but I'm glad that Berna decided to prioritize laning over getting kills, right? If you go for a killing build, there's always that thought in the back of your mind of, will I get enough kills to make this worth it? Whereas if you go for farming build, 9 times out of 10 is the right build, right? I think a lot of pro players have changed that mentality over the years.
And not to mention, with the Wisp, you're very, very speedy, with not only, of course, your static Storm Surge passive, but also, of course, the Tether move speed bonus, which is very, very fast. These two are going to be running down here extremely quickly. What are you building here, Razor? Bring a Bazzi.
Huh. I am interested as well, especially because Falcon Blade is so common, which does the same thing.
Yeah. So this is quite curious.
There are very few heroes who I would... so there are very few players who I would not doubt their itemization on Razor, but Berna is definitely one of them. This guy knows Razor. And one of my favorite things is his creative itemizations. So here's my take on this. It might be because Bazzi gives some mana to the IO, and he might be IO's partner the whole time. So overall, it gives him more mana, and the extra stats from Falcon Blade are not that valuable. You mainly get it for the mana regen, right? So Bazzi will actually improve his mana overall. I think that's his logic. Berna is dying though here. You have to be careful. Static Link's still available. In comes the Monkey King. He starts to steal something from Dunya. That damage is going to be enough to kill Dunya. Berna will fall as well. Mini now going for Sexy Yogi. He has a lot of attack speed ready. And that's going to be an almost dead Io. Didn't use the Balance Strike just yet. Mini still has it. Lurking in the shadows. And he's going to get Yogi finally.
Really wanted to tease him there. But did
he had it for a while.
Yeah,
as bottom, Betty, with the illusions, is going to kill off the Tiny. ZXEA. Finished off easily.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of curious why he doesn't just tell the Wisp to get the Ring of Bazzi. It gives the same amount of regen. And then you build the Falcon Blade on top of that. But I guess he thinks one of those is redundant, so he's not going to do it. So I guess that must be why. But I'm not quite confident with this. Not like the extra HP from the Falcon Blade would have let him live there anyway. It's pretty minor. Serum in lane is going to eat the first extended now focus fire. Especially extended even longer now with the stick charges. Roboseta showing off his brand new javelin. Plenty of damage there. And in fact, now they're going top lane again. So here come the rotations. Mini's already gotten the kill, however. Still has one more Jingu Mastery proc, but the kisses from Argentine, who was rotated from the off lane here. Getting some serious damage onto Mini. Most importantly, not going to let him tree dance away, as Roboseta going to be disappointed to find themselves trapped inside of the Wukong, sorry, not the Wukong command, the Arena of Blood. Especially with that DD rune, unable to really get a little bit more impact there in that fight.
Wait till they combine the Arena with the Wukong's command you were so excited about. That's going to be a real baller move here. And Balrogs, despite having an okay early game, certainly not the snowball you'd expect from a Razor. We'll see now how that can shape up for them. But for now, I think Gapu King and Kings is keeping this aggression at bay pretty effectively. Argentine gives the cookie to the Tiny, who immediately looks back. That always feels bad when that happens. And Argentine's going to die because Snapfire is just a grandmother, and she moves like one. A bit faster than Crystal Maiden, but not too much faster, which is why Argentine will die. And Serum looking for another kill as well.
Sexy
no blinks,
Yogi
though.
decides that that is not a hero worth healing and is going to conserve the 9 stick charges. Likely wouldn't have saved him anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes euthanasia is the right thing for the Snapfire. You don't wanna hear her. You just let her die instead.
Serum in trouble. There's a toss at the ready into the power shot, which does hit. Serum though from behind now and on how as well. He's going to have an arena of blood ready in 13 seconds. Quite soon enough, but the spear is still good. It looks like he threw that while he was shackled. Not to matter though. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, but they scout Mini coming thanks to the ward. Holding on to the Wind Run is the Wind Runner now. She's going to be immune to the auto attacks of Mini as Berna is going to be sapping all the damage from Monkey King. He gets the bonus damage and he's still going to turn with the Boundless Strike and assist at least on the kill onto Roboseta because it's the neutral creeps, the small camp that get the kill.
Wow, so that ends up being a huge win from Balrogs overall, I guess, because you don't give the gold from Roboseta away. It still sucks for Roboseta, but...
He took 30
That's
damage
kinda
from the
rude.
Harpy Scout and that killed him. I'd be so upset. He had Ignite, he had a Monkey King Wukong's
Arsen T?
attack that did 150 damage.
Arsen T? Something's going on with Arsen T. What's up, dude? Dude, like, that play to the bottom lane, going solo to push this tower, even though you don't have any points in low shredder, what are you going to accomplish there, right? That was weird.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Much like his Legion Commander game, I think he just needs to get his head in the game for a while. Like, take a deep breath, calm down for a second, you know, go take these 20 seconds to relax and come back into the game fresh. Because I think after last game, he seems a little bit affected. And his
Gotta
playstyle,
meditate.
his judgment is not the best.
Meditate,
Yeah,
as
Astini says
Astini
that.
said.
Yeah,
I listened to the panel.
I agree though. Like, you really cannot afford to keep losing your life like that. You gotta have more consistency in your plays, especially with a faster lineup. And you also have to prevent autopilot. That's the worst thing you can do in Dota. You die a couple of times, you autopilot to recover. Oof, no. Especially in a comp game, that's gonna be the death of you.
No play, not from Balrogs. We'll hit that with the full Maelstrom finish. If he can get off a good focus fire onto a target, he can kill anyone, including Benny, who is quite tanky now between the Power Treads and the Dragonlance. The casual Blade of Alacrity in his inventory. What are you building with this? Probably just a Manta style, nothing too exciting, I bet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Not that great of a Manta game. I mean, it's always a good Manta game for TB, because obviously your illusions are insane, but nothing really to dispel here, huh?
Radiant's
Just the
bottom
slow on
tower
Scatter
is
Blast
falling.
and slow from Plasma Field. About it. Maybe dodge a Shackle with it.
I agree. I'm thinking of anything else they could use this for. But
Dodge
you're
a
right.
Cookie Stun, perhaps? Like, it's...
You can dodge a cookie stun. Yeah. it's true.
Okay, that gives some use to it.
I am also surprised by it. I might just rather have SNY, especially because there's such an overwhelming amount of magical damage on Tiny and Snap. But SNY I think might be more useful.
Shackle's a really long stun as well if you do end up getting shackled to something, so it's nice having that status resist. Just Tiny. It's going to be silenced up, and there's going to be now the Mystic Flare. Mini, not allowed to take the kill, but it does at least get the Wukong stacks active, or the Jingu stacks. Still no point in the Wukong's command at level 10. Not too rare to see on a mid lane Monkey King, of course. It is a little. What I am a little bit surprised by is Mini's build. I mean, I shouldn't be because I'm not questioning it because I got a Master Tier Monkey King player. It's best hero. But 4-1-4, and now the point in the ulti when your lane was not really too viable for this build, right? Roboseta being range and having Wind Run, like you don't really ever get to get Jingu off of the Wind Ranger in lane unless she's making a dire mistake, really. But it is a really nice fighting build for sure. He's not going to farm too quickly though, with the Primal Spring being only level 1. He does need to start finding a killing partner. Perhaps with Mars on his Blink Dagger and 500 gold, and looking to take advantage of those aggressive skill points. KB all ready for Razor, 13 minutes in. No Dragonlance. Sorry, no... I mean, I'd be correct, there is no Dragonlance, but also no Falcon Blade. And just the casual Ring of Bazzi after the Power Treads, so... Not a whole lot of net worth here to Berna, but still with the BKB, he is kind of unstoppable this game. This early, anyway.
Yeah, this early I think he is unstoppable. Once the Scotty comes up is when the Razor starts to fall off, right? Scotty on Terrorblade, obviously. But everything else, you're right. He's going to be probably the strongest hero in the game.
Scotty on TV is going to be coming sooner, a little bit sooner than expected, as for now, just the casual Yasha in TV's inventory to boost his farming speed, and the 2 Ultimate Orbs in the quick buy are going to be going into the Scotty. No Manta queued up yet. We'll see if he doubles back for it after, because, yeah, Scotty is the biggest item for TB. well, it's the first major item for him anyway.
Is under attack.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of how Balrogs are opposing this though, because we just see that BKB, which you talked about. He's the strongest hero in the game, yada yada, and no smokes, nothing. Like, it just seems like we're gonna farm jungle with this
There they
BKB.
go.
Now the
Yeah.
smoke.
All right, I think they were
reveal?
just waiting a second because Argentine now has his own Blink Dagger. Doesn't have the shard yet, but
Okay.
still a blink here on the snap
Okay.
could make the difference.
Fair,
But yes,
fair. Okay,
they-
that's
go
a big
and
deal.
fight.
Not the ogre though. Literally anything but him. He's just a 5. He honestly wants to do this.
Yep, and that's what I mean. Like Serum, he's really good at this, isn't he? Right? Anyone who can,
Yes.
anyone who I'd say is a respectable Ench player, a good Ench player that warrants an Ench ban, is gonna have this skill ingrained in them, which is just standing, right place, right time.
Justin
Now,
might disagree with the former part, but yes, I agree.
with the what?
With a good edge player part, but yes, I agree.
I
with
mean,
your point overall.
blocking the camp was a little weird, level 1. But here's the arena, and that's an easy one now
okay.
because Zanai has the Blink Dagger, but a really great relocate. Doesn't even take him out of the fight. That's not a carry Tiny, though. That's a support Tiny, and that's relocate already used.
True. Which means you're probably going to avoid this fight. Balrogs needs to learn that they have to avoid certain fights. Right?
Shackle.
No, Razor's coming in.
To the kisses.
Hey, Mortimer's kisses. That's strong. Serum once again going to be the target. They set up the Wukong's commando. Tiny could be in trouble. The God's
Back.
Rebuke. Tiny's going to die. BKB has been committed by Berna though. And he's going in for
Mini?
Mini. And he needs to get out of this Wukong's command, but someone lose the
Oh, the
honor. Beautiful
shackle.
shot. As Benny finally joins in, that spear will miss completely. And Wind Ranger will just be taken for a ride. Reminds you of a cockroach. As Wind Ranger, as they go into the jungle, use the power shot. Sorry, use the Wind Run and TP. Safely get out of there.
I like how Betty and I were like, yeah, we'll keep auto attacking her. Maybe one of these will get through our 100% evasion.
Look, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? And you also
Yeah.
miss 100% of the shots that you use on the Wind Ranger with Wind Run.
Sure.
So that fight ended up being okay for Balrogs. I think it's an okay discovery of the first BKB. It is certainly the kind of fight that you force it because you know you're stronger no matter what, and the enemy team probably can't answer you in time. So fair enough. Okay. Good choice by Berna then.
I think that was very bold by Mini to opt to actually stand and fight in that Wukong. So I think it was good up until you realized that Wisp had mech, and then there's just no way you're killing Razor. I mean, again, he's kind of already unstoppable just with BKB alone. Not to mention, of course, the Wisp, which is going to buff his healing, his move speed, his attack speed. We wouldn't want to be anywhere near here. I mean, that's just another kill onto Serum, but these shackles are mighty impressive.
Yeah, he's got some great shackles this game. But he's a Wind Ranger spammer. When you see anyone pick Wind Ranger mid, you always question, is this a good Wind Ranger game? And I can guarantee you the Wind Ranger spammer is saying, yes it is, of course it is. Every game is a good Wind Ranger game. While Slacks rolls in his grave.
To be honest, though, I mean, very true, but I would want that kind of response from every single mid laner. Anasis in trouble. Gonna drop a Mystic Flare, looking to pick up the kill onto the Wisp, but not enough damage there.
Are you a Wind Ranger fan?
No, but what I'm saying is, no matter what the mid lane hero is, like, for example, this game, I better had hoped that Mini saying
What?
one of two things: either, oh, this is a great Monkey King game, or I don't care, I'm going to beat him on my Monkey. You need to have that confidence in the mid lane, right?
Sure. That's true.
Radiant's
That's why all
what
the
I'm
young
saying.
people play in the mid lane.
Yeah,
You can play mid lane until you develop Shame, which is a natural course of maturing, and then that's when you become a bad mid laner.
Or these days, Carpal Tunnel.
No, too soon for Portman Fear. I'm gonna go and take the tower here. Let's see. Okay,
Shackle,
the arena,
yet
pretty
again.
good, but the Cookie once again saves him. Mortimer's kiss is used. Vernas toss the BKB is gonna fight
He's
this
dead.
on, and Mini is dead. Dunya in the similar position, gonna be run down and killed. Hannes is capable of at least running away, but they've taken your objective and 2 of your cores. Serum at this point, that's a freebie. That's certainly not the kind of kill you want to give away, because there was no need for him to die here, and he
Yeah.
is gonna do it anyway.
That's 4 dead, really, because and again, I'm so surprised that Apu Kings decide to fight here, or they decide to take the fight in this way, I should say, because I would understand the reasoning to want to defend a tier 1 tower, because they knew that was coming, right? Like, Skywrath Mage died to 3 heroes when they killed him, and then of course it's natural they're going to rotate to the tier 1 tower, or they're going to back away. So for Apu Kings to be seemingly caught off guard there, sure, I guess Tiny Blink reveal having a lot to do with it, but still, like, that fight looked like they were completely caught by surprise when they should have known that was the obvious play for Balrogs to make. So
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's the same issues we talked about with Balrogs last game about not being able to retreat are visible in Apuki Akins this game, right? There's been 2 fights where I'm like, just back, dude. Just leave.
And Benny knew about it because Benny wasn't anywhere near that. He's continuing to farm almost as Scotty, which is his job, right? I'm not criticizing him. That's his job. Once he has Scotty, he should be in these fights. He's going to have a mighty fine impact, especially because, of course, not only is he going to slow the Razor and the Wisp, but he's also going to reduce the Wisp healing.
On point. That's why when I was in the panel, when the Alpha Plus host was in the panel, he was talking about the fact that there you go. I'm speaking in third person too. Cancel me, please.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he was talking about the fact that the Balrogs team reminded people of Apple King Kings before, like Binomiistas, right? Like they're really similar. I'm getting confused in their pronouns. They are really similar in terms of playstyle. Because the only thing is that Apple King Kings is the refined version of what Balrogs is, to be honest. Which is why I put them a little bit above. But there are still moments where they go back to their old roots and they just fight. The thing that Apple King Kings really improved on, and something I really like about them now, is that now they seem to have these moments where they make a couple mistakes. They go, okay, guys, what are we doing? And they just take a deep breath and they start playing good Dota again. Okay. The first team to invent this was Infamous, right? They throw twice, and then Peter goes, what are we doing, guys? And everyone's like, yeah, he's right. What are we doing? And then Infamous learned not to throw it more than 2 times. Apple King Kings is on their way to become that kind of team. And especially against a team like Balrogs that puts this much pressure, being able to reset your mentality in the game, super valuable. Beast Coast was unable to do this, so you get an idea of how strong that is. And they're the best team in South America right now. That's why I mentioned it. As
you just had to
dies.
Just had to get it. Just in case anyone was confused about how Alvaro feels about Beast Coast. In case it's your first time listening to Abo Plus ever.
Okay.
Got many.
Did you not see the Gardic meme? Okay, I have praised a lot of teams. Monkey King, he is gonna die in the top lane.
He tried to TP. Old.
Usually we've seen many going a lot for, if you remember the times we've seen Monkey King, it's very common to see like BKB into Gleipnir for him, or like a more utility-based build. If you go for Desolator, I don't think these plays are as forgivable anymore. You really cannot die because you're honestly a secondary carry with this build. And they need your damage. They need you to farm as well, and with Desolator you don't farm fast. You don't have the Gleipnir to help you out in team fights. You really need to be a bit more careful, I think, with lane cutting.
Very true. I still like the Deso, though, versus the Razor. This is something you always point out. Razor, one of the agi carries with a better strength gain than an agility gain, so only 9 armor. Not really that much. So the Deso does a lot to him here. He's got a little bit more, looks like the AC aura. Something else has given him more armor. Drops to 7. What has given him this bonus 4 armor? Is it the Wisp?
On Razor? I don't see bonus 4 armor.
Oh, when he tread swaps. That's what it is, right?
Oh, okay.
So 11 armor. He's gonna stay agi.
That's not possible, no? That's bugged. That's 100% bugged. Because Socrates gives you 10. No, 15 actually. Yeah, that's bugged.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah.
I think it's not counting the AC armor, so I think he's probably has 25 now.
Heck. Time to
spring
get a spring cleaning from my spring cleaning.
You know, actually, I respect Valve because it's the exact same thing that happens when my girlfriend tells me to do spring cleaning. There's so many things under the darkest corners of my room that nobody wants to find.
Swept them under the rug.
Yes, literally. That's why we have no more rugs in the house. She burned them all. Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I have a warding here. Well, okay, BKB immediately for Berna.
TB.
He's like, I don't need the tether, I'm just gonna go for Benny. And with the Avalanche, they cancel his TP. They have Mortimer skits on top of that. Benny's gonna die. The Arena caught the IO, but IO's taking a fair amount. This allows him to kill 2 cores for free. Razor doesn't need an IO, he's an independent carry right now. Serum, or perhaps maybe Dunya, the next target. Puzzle Field will miss. Snapfire hitting him from behind, but no stuns. Scattered Blast still on cooldown. Now finally available. That was not even close. Okay, not the best display of skills after they killed the carries and the mid laner, but it's fine. The first 2 kills were very important, and Balrogs still takes the lead in this fight.
First 2 kills were the important ones, yeah, as you said, and now Balrogs are going to be able to set up for Roshan here almost certainly. Get the wards up, remove this tier 1 tower, the closer teleport points as well from Apu Kings. And if Apu Kings didn't have that epiphany moment of we need to start changing the way this game is going before, they should really be having one now. Alarm bells ringing, you know, kind of whistles, the dogs are barking, like something needs to alert them that this game is really getting out of hand for them here. As Balrogs look to set up here for the first Rosh. because they are Balrogs, that is, are looking really good. Yes, this BKB duration of Razor is winding down. I believe he's now down to his 6-second charge. However, this is where the refresher comes in. He's already got that expensive piece of paper and has enough money for just about half of the second perseverance. So, you know, his power spike is sure it's on its downtrend, but with this refresher, it'll be just as strong as ever. As Apu Kings are gonna take a little bit of a puppy pause here, perhaps, to get reorganized.
Yeah, weird because I want to point this out because it's important. The server that we were supposed to play in this game was Peru because of the coin toss, right? But Apu King said we can't play on that server, we're getting too much lag, and Balrogs agreed to play on Argentina server, which is better for Brazilians. And Balrogs also has packet loss in that server. So the fact that these guys are disconnecting is not great when they've been given this help as well. Kudos to Balrogs, though, for accepting playing in a server with packet loss when they could have just played with a huge ping advantage, just for the fairness of the game. Good show of sportsmanship.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, of course. But a little bit of a pause here as we are heading into a crucial moment in this game. As things will need a second, of course. Still lacking their offlaner. Who has KB? Is his recipe on his stash? Or what? No, okay, so he doesn't have BKB still. I guess he wouldn't have money for it. Mars
Who,
BKB.
sorry?
Mars?
Okay. Yeah, not enough yet. The Terrorblade also not enough yet. Monkey King is not even... Oh. So I'm assuming that Apple King is just going to wait for the triple BKB timing, and that's when they start fighting better, right? Because the team fights... It's much harder to burst on the Terrorblade, which was their biggest issue.
That will be a big turning point. It will be a really big turning point for them here.
I just think that's what you play around, honestly. I think that when you're the defensive team in a defensive versus offensive matchup, which is the case here, like there's one team that's going to roll you over like a truck and you're but a squirrel trying to protect your nuts in the middle of the road, right? The best thing is you have to know exactly when to time it properly. You know when to pop those tires. And Apu Kings, if this was them a year ago, I don't think they'd be able to beat this game. But them now, I think they're capable. I think they've improved a lot in those aspects. It's less of a crazy maverick of a team. They still preserve that spirit, but now there's a much more calculated idea behind them, which I love. I do think this team is one of the teams that's improved the most in the past year and a half in terms of SA and or general in the world, because most teams in the rest of the world don't improve as much. SA is definitely the place where there's a lot more room for that. And Apu Kings is looking good right now. So let's see. This is a real challenge for them. It's actually an interesting challenge for them because of their playstyle.
Yeah, and a really cool storyline developing as well for Balrogs, right? Who, of course, are joining us from Division 2 after being promoted last season. I believe they were second placed, weren't they?
Yep. I think so, actually. I think Infinity was first place. Yeah, and Balrogs is just kind of steamrolling, dude. They take the first game, and the enemy team is like, oh my god, these guys play fast, right? Mind you, Balrogs did make some small changes, but I think those were for the better.
Wisp now between Holy Locket and Mech providing copious amounts of heals, as there's going to be all the farm that Razor needs for the full refresher.
Sorry, I want to correct myself. The small change was technically their offlaner, but since now they're playing with a stand-in, I guess it doesn't matter as much.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, it still matters.
Drakeen.
It still matters, right? Because it's still a different offlaner. Sure, it's kind of weird for this match, but yeah, I mean, even with the stand-in.
Is Argentine really an offlaner, or has he just been given Snapfire? He's just a Snapfire player at this point in this game.
Better showing on the Snapfire than last game on the Legion.
You can say that again.
Yeah, as he nearly has the BKB finished up alongside his Blink and Shard. So this is going to allow him to basically untouchable as well if he chooses that he needs to keep a little bit more distance from the fight and just support with the kisses. A very viable strategy still for the offlane Snap.
Yep.
Going to be a tier 2 fall in. Apu Kings definitely recognizing that they are in no position to really fight for this. And with the Bloodlust now on the Ogre, well, I guess on the Monkey King and on the TB, they also farm very quickly. This BKB about to be finished now for Mini.
I'm telling you, man, Binomistas a year ago, they would have fought this. They would have fought this 100%. And they would have lost the game because of that fight.
And BKB and the Makeup Dragonlance finished for Benny. And still no BKB, though, for Mars. He's the only one missing, but the two important cores, the 1s and the 2s, now have themselves that magic immunity, which is going to be very, very important here against the upcoming Roshan fight. However, Balrogs have set up very nicely for this. No wards placed down on the enemy side of the map, but they have dispatched of the tier 2 top lane, and no tier 1 mid also makes this a little bit difficult for Apu Kings to actually try and fight into.
Well, Hita decides to go for Roche, and he calls his team forward, and they're all going to go for it. I want to mention, by the way, the Sakura's pickup on the Razor, loving it because it gives him a lot more pushing power. He could have gone for Ags, but Ags is much worse in team fights, right? It's literally just push, whereas AC is a good complement between the two of them. Usually Razors go BKB straight into Refresher these days, right? But this deviation to AC, I think, has allowed them to take more objectives, and now it's going to make this Roche seem much more impactful. That's first Roche, right?
That is first Roche, that is correct, and now first Roche for stages for this Razor alongside his 6-second BKB, sure, but a Refresher as well. So he is mighty strong, and dare I say kind of unkillable. I think Apu Kings kind of would have to overcommit to kill him, even once, maybe even twice, and by then you would be ignoring and giving a free setup to Roboseta and the rest of Balrogs here to do as they please. There's a Gem of True Sight already. Balrogs, like, they're really picking up the cues. This is something that Tier 1 teams really like to do when they kind of apply the Stranglehold, when they want to contain you to your base and farm the rest of the map, right? They are looking to enter their own endgame here. This is a really, really clean execution from Balrogs. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing as they make an aggressive jump.
Yeah, and they're gonna go. RZNT actually survives this next to his BKB.
Wow.
He's capable of fighting this game. Berna?
Okay.
Yeah, he almost had a Minos moment there. He just had to leave in time. Whenever we talk about the carries in SA, I think usually the position that we hype the most, because honestly there's a lot of good carries in SA. I think Berna is someone that kind of gets forgotten, but to me, he's my favorite aggressive carry in SA. I think he's really good on these Razor, these Ursus type heroes. He used to be known for Spectre a lot, especially when he was playing in Infinity for the close qualifiers.
Okay, they stun him up. There's the toss because they had vision of him and he's going to BKB.
Good. But they cancel the TPs, right? So they can continue pushing here on Berna.
Yeah.
He's not Aegis anyway.
Yeah, he does. And now no BKB for Monkey King, so you're going to miss this like dual fight with BKB. Monkey King, BKB, TP. TP still has his, and now 4 staff actually, so it seems like he's going to try and get the the Hurricane Pike online, which is trivial. I think the recipe is like 400 gold, and obviously he's got that money. No buyback though.
Yeah. Best way to deal with a Razor, right? Puts the most distance between you and Razor, ideally, because Razor can't chase you while he's being pushed away.
Yep.
So,
true.
Good idea. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I think Berna is really the leader of these kind of aggressive lives. I actually think he's the key to the team. Judging by the fact that they gave him the gem this early, like I do feel like he has a lot of say in these matchups. I don't know, because he also played on Infinity with Sexy Yogi, so they might come as a pair. But this pair in general always impresses me when they play fast.
Gems on Roboseta, of course, but yeah, Berna still plays mighty.
It used to be on Berna.
Mighty aggressive, mighty aggressive. And almost has a full Ags to complement his Refresher. The Eye of the Storm buff does stack. You can double it for a bit more physical damage. Balrogs, though, they've lost just a little bit of steam when they had to kind of save RZNT from dying from the Skywrath. Balrogs make that Apu Kings did a fantastic job of cutting the waves mid and continuing to push bottom out. So they did force Balrogs to kind of stall just a little bit here. But now, with the Ag Scepter ready for Berna, perhaps here is where they finally look to make their push up to the high ground. It has bought Apu Kings a bit of time. Like we said, this Hurricane Pike finished now for the TB. He might buy out for the Crystallis, or he's 700 gold away now from the buyback. But there's going to be another jump onto the position 4. Roboseta with another kill there onto Jupiter Hang.
Jump to check for wards. Get the bounty rune? No, don't hit that. Okay, you want to give it to the enemy team?
And he's cutting the wave top as well.
Selfish.
So they only have this small wave to push with here for Balrogs. And how many minutes left on this? Just 1.5.
But they have Ags now on Razor, so I think this at least means tower, right? I think this Ag is too much push. They don't even need to do anything with Razor, just stand near the tower, and I'll be fine. There you go. Eye the Storm. Try to break it with a spear. Not gonna work. Berna takes a tower. There we go. And he actually used the Terror Blade's illusion against him by taking all his damage, allowing him to push faster. And that's a whole lane of racks. Benny regretting that choice to send the illusion. Regretting it a lot.
He's like, he can't kill my illusion. It's got 60 armor. He took all its damage. That's illegal.
Is under attack.
It's like, even if he kills the illusion, it's only 50 gold or 34 gold. Who cares?
Who cares? That's a nice illusion play. I really like when kind of carry players especially, or just players in general, really abuse the illusion spam from heroes. Last time we really saw this was the OD game versus Dusa, when he would just take all of her mana from the illusions and then insta-kill supports by dropping the hammer at the start of the fights.
That's true.
But here he goes again. A little bit more damage stolen. Thank you very much. Again, he's got Refresher, so it's not like he can't do this again, right?
I don't think the strategy is working, Benny. I think you need to rethink where your illusions are going.
So this is a good wraparound, though, from Apu Kings. A bit promising, especially if they can snipe Sexy Yogi to start this fight off.
Yep, this would be amazing. That's what they go for. BKB activated immediately on Berna. Saw the refresher, by the way. Aegis expired in the middle of this fight. He has the BKB now. A second one also available. Berna cannot last against the Scotty TB. Even with that cookie, he's going to die.
Wow.
Monster kill streak going the way of Mini. They got rid of him and his partner. They did kill the enemy supports, but now Roboceta, capable of TPing in time. Yes, he's faster than the Monkey King. So at least Balrogs won't lose everything in this fight. Could have been worse for them. But the kill, very important for Apu.
We have a game. We have a game, ladies and gentlemen. And this is kind of, to me, a little bit more of the difference between like a team I would expect to see in Division 1 and a team that I expect to be still very strong, individually talented, no doubts, but still learning things after the come up from Division 2, right? Apu Kings perfectly timing that fight. Aegis was reclaimed like within 5 seconds. Apu Kings with a great wraparound. They fight underneath a ward that they place for that fight, and everything goes to plan, right? Like, that's exactly what I expect the Division 1 team to be doing here to get back in this game. And what a fight for them. As after this, TB is going to have enough money for the full Daedalus, I want to say? Right, surely?
I think so, yeah. I think it's Daedalus.
Yeah. And he's looking mighty strong now. Has the full Sanj and Yasha. Did not go for the full illusion spam builds. Of course,
Wait,
like
not full
Mass style.
Daedalus, just Crystallis, right?
Just
Yeah, I don't think
Crystallis.
it's
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I think he also
Yeah,
bought a
Daedalus
Sanj then. He
is too
must
much.
have.
Yeah, he did. Okay, I see what you mean, right? Yeah, so you bought Sanj to be Sanj and Yasha, which I like because we were questioning the Manta style choice. Sanj and Yasha definitely the better one. And now with the Crystallis, he has a little bit more damage. It's starting to get to that point where Balrogs is running out of steam. And they're running on fumes now. So Apu King of Kings. Can they beat these fumes? Do they have their gas masks on?
I think... I don't think they're quite on fumes. They're definitely... The gas, you know, the car, the motor, whatever, it's letting them know that, you know, the warning light's on, right? They're definitely on the reserve tank, but not quite on fumes. They just cannot get initiated on like that. They need to make sure that Sexy Yogi can keep Berna alive to kind of 1v1 the TB. It is starting to get bad, though. One more fight, and they're basically out of this game. And it seems like they're going to have this next big clash over second Roche.
Smoke used by Balrog.
This is promising.
Power shot. It is Tiny. But oh, he should know there's something going on. He actually just forced us himself forwards. Not the Blink Dagger, technically. But of course, if he dies, there's no Blink Dagger to be used. Luckily, the IO decides he's worthy enough to be saved. Sexy Yogi. He chose to use the Relocated for this.
Berna used his first BKB charge. He doesn't have Refresher just for another 5 or 10 seconds or so not that big of a deal. Was just surprised to see that first BKB usage like that.
Well, yeah, that Reload is going to kill the IO. And, oh, does Tiny die anyway? Because that would be a huge loss. Okay, don't look that way. Lotus Sword. That's not going to be enough to save him.
Okay. Okay, so, but if you're a Balrogs fan, you need to see this Roche be a long timer. If this is a 10-second timer,
yes.
This is going to be
Put
so
your hands
painful.
together. Okay,
Roche,
it was a long
2 minutes.
timer. Alright, but Balrogs is starting to fall apart a little bit in these team fights, and yeah, your team fight is going to be harder, and it's going to get harder and harder as the game goes on. Nothing justifies you initiating like that.
Yep.
Like, if you're going to save
I have
the time,
to be a
commit
little
to
bit.
it.
I have to be a little bit critical on Berna deciding to BKB and almost chase through the arena walls when the rest of his team seemed to be just really fine to sit back. Like, that was a big tool that Apu Kings used. If only they, like, maybe they just get a Tiny out of it, right? You back up, you have buyback, you set up a little bit more vision for Roche. But using that BKB and then kind of not having it without committing the Refresher, which is like full all-in, when at that stage you had already lost both of your supports, like, it's a little bit too much from Berna. He needs to take it a little bit easier here. Not the biggest losses, just 2 supports. Roshan did not spawn mercifully for you, so they still have a little bit left to continue fighting versus Apu Kings.
Yeah. It is rough, though. It is rough. Satanic finally used by Berna. Or finally completed, sorry, by Berna. As there's going to be the Tiny rotating in. He's gonna pretend like his team did not smoke in front of the illusion.
Oh, yeah, right. I don't know if this TB is killable anymore. He's got 3,600 HP, lots of armor, a crit, Scotty.
Oh, okay. Maybe not like this, especially not if you cookie the BKB target. The arena's used again, but this time Netta's holding onto his BKB. This time he is holding on to it. He held on to it too long. Maybe it's time to use it. There we go. He has a refresher this time as well. Also Satanic. They push the Terrorblade forward, and Terrorblade is just going to use this to murder everything. Yes. And the only thing in his sights, at least, is Tiny. Everyone else can retreat. But it seems like Balrogs.
Wisp was gonna
they're out of fumes, Richie. They're out of fumes, man.
He's invisible in ethereal form. This bug still exists.
Yeah. And with a spear, Sexy Yogi will die.
Now he ceases to exist. Rushes up. I don't know. Balrogs, they would have needed a 3-minute long Roche timer for them to get lucky here. It's not going to be the case, but the double buyback now for both supports.
Just one fight.
Arena.
Right?
Sorry?
Just one fight, Balrogs. Just one fight, and you honestly still win this game. But they need to win at least one fight.
They're going to be too slow. They're going to be too slow for this Roche. If you can't kill Benny before, how are you going to do it now with an Aegis? Shard as well here is online. They may find a support or two here in exchange, but it's not really going to be the worth losing that bounty of second Roche. Down goes the Skywrath Mage here eventually. There they go. RSNT picking up the kill. Then he's a bit too fast. Really just the one.
Yeah, they almost got Saren, but he TP'd in their faces.
Now it's
looking very bad for Balrogs now.
Now they're on fumes. For sure, they're on fumes. Have to inhale the fumes of the hopium.
I mean, look, if something Peruvians have been able to do in Dota forever is hope, right? That's always been a thing. They invented the mathematically possible. I remember saying that every single broadcast in the Spanish stream, we used to do this thing where we would calculate if there was any odds that if like 5 teams would all die in a car crash, could we still go to TI? Most of the time, the answer was yes. And so hope was always kept alive, right? So they're good at that.
Still has this game at a coin flip, by the way. I don't know about this one anymore with this initiation.
I don't think that's true.
Wisp, he's going to keep himself alive just barely. He's testing the spear wall, and yes, it still pokes. Mini has been caught. The stun from the Cookie not going to do anything here against the BKB Monkey King, but he is being forced to retreat as Robos hit that lane in the damage. Benny's going to save him here with the Sunder, but that leaves Benny in a bit of a weak spot, but they have at least the Force Staffs to get him to safety. All right, so maybe a little bit more than a coin flip than you thought.
Maybe. I still think that they need to win a team fight, right? Like, that's the biggest issue that Balrogs has, this obstacle of, like, once the enemy team bunches up, what do you do against them? I don't think it's enough for you to just take towers and split push. Yeah, that's huge, actually. That might be enough, though. He has Daedalus as well. Is that enough to... May not kill TB, but if you could kill Monkey King with this... Oh, they found the relocate, though. That's 100 seconds, that's Sexy Yogi.
He bought back earlier to try and contest the Roche. Also having bought back was the Tiny, so both supports right now will have that death timer cooldown, as well as not having the ability to buy back in a little bit. TB, of course, still with the Aegis. And now the Shard, so he has Demon Zeal. Not a bad ability, especially now that you actually have base stats and a decent crit.
Yeah. Especially when it doesn't really matter if you're ranged or not against a Terrorblade, right? Because it's more about how static you are as a hero. So he cancels you anyway. RSNT, nice blink. Okay, BKB TP. I think he actually could have gone away without using the BKB, but frankly, you're not going to fight without the IO anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, agreed.
And he is deviating, by the way, into a carry snapfire, quote unquote, like with the Daedalus. The only thing is he took the Mortimer Skiss's movement slow, so I'm not really sure what this Daedalus is going to do.
That's what I was going to say. That was the first thing I checked. I go, oh, he's level 20. He took the talent, and I wait a second.
Yeah. I don't know why he's doing this now. Like, it's too late. You already took the wrong talent. Are you going to wait till level 28, 29?
Okay. Kill. They push him to the high ground, but they still have the kill. Okay.
I don't know.
Bad. What the? Serum's level 16, man. This man's some experience. It's 40 minutes in. Your death timer should be at least 75 seconds, man.
He has been tanking ganks all game. I think RSNT should consider the Ags instead, so Tiny can have an initiation. I don't know what the Daedalus is going to do for this hero.
And it's a save.
Ags. Yeah. You're honestly better off buying anything literally with low shredder than the crit. Like Maelstrom would work, because at least you still proc the Maelstrom. MKB works, you still proc the MKB. Not the crit. That's the one thing you don't proc. Don't buy it, Argentina. I beg of you.
This has gone from a level 20 talent to a level 29 talent now. So yeah, it's not really... Even the multi-attack talent is really not worth taking, I would say, right now. You already have AC for the minus armor. When are you reasonably going to hit 3 heroes like this? Like, Here you go. Here goes Apu Kings. Aegis still ready and for another minute before it expires.
Okay, that was not the best arena. But it's okay. Dunyo's been having a great performance. You can miss one. His teammates allow it.
Yeah, and a good blink out from the Tiny as well, right? So good reaction times there to break the smoke. Apu
Thank
Kings
God,
obviously...
because otherwise Io relocates him again, right? And then we lose the Io a third time.
Credits to Balrogs, right? Because I think they know this is not a fight we want to be taking. This is a fight Apu Kings want to take with Aegis expiring in a minute. This is not a fight Balrogs want. Good moves.
That's actually a very good point. Against Beast Coast when they had this issue, because it was very similar actually, the best of 3 against Beast Coast. Balrogs, the last game, they made a couple mistakes towards the late game, and then they were like, you know what, let's just throw heroes and heroes until the game ends, right? And that looked bad. It looked like they just kind of lost their composure. But this game, they're keeping it. And that's, if anything, improvement for the team.
Are you surprised to see MKB over a Swift Link here for Benny, as his H is reclaimed here?
No. I think MKB is the right choice. Okay. Because the win range and Mista. She's the biggest threat now. Also, Berna could go Butterfly, but I think it's mainly the Wind Ranger. Yeah, and Berna, instead of Butterfly, what he's decided to go for is the Divine Rapier.
He's got a Satanic finish. They have found the Mars. A great smoke play for Balrogs, and immediately take out the Initiator, the offlaner.
They are still in it to a degree. Serum covers the Tiny as Metamorphosis is used. I don't think Tiny's to be saved here. No, that's Abatos before he dies.
Balrogs don't want this fight anymore. They got the Metamorphosis out. It's gonna be ready by the time Roche is up, but there's really no need to pressure this. Actually, will it? There's a chance it's still on cooldown for like a couple of seconds if it's like an instant Roche, but it'll be back up.
I am fascinated, by the way, we'll talk about Berna for a second, that he did go for the 2 static link charges as opposed to the 80 attack speed talent, which is fine. I think both talents are pretty strong. But weird to choose this when you have you're queuing with Divine Rapier, right? Like usually if you queue this, you queue more attack speed, because that way you'd utilize damage, right? So
true. I guess it does allow him to sap damage from a TB illusion and another hero at the same time. Like it is. I think he has no lack of targets to use it, right?
Yes.
So
and
maybe
the synergy with Refresher is there too, right? That's 4 static links.
And he still gets attack speed from the Wisp, so like maybe it's more damage. Maybe he's like kind of done the mental math and say if I static link 2 enemy heroes, it's still better for me. But this is bad. Reload.
There's a relocate. Relocate's like, get stopped. Reload got stopped, and that Balrogs might just the loss of the game there. Robotheta in trouble himself. The MKB doing wonders with the Demon Zeal, and that's going to be Balrogs losing 2 other cores. Tiny's still dead, but at least they do have buyback. No BKB on Razor, but did not use the Refresher yet.
He popped everything there. There's Satanic. Luckily didn't spam press all the buttons, right? He didn't use the Refresher Orb at least, as you're saying. Ascetic Scap couldn't even keep him alive, man. The 1 Dispel and the 40% stats resist. Oof, they got him good.
Oh. I don't think they're going to kill terribly, but that Argentina a bit too hopeful, and he's going to die in the middle of the Monkey King ultimate. He does have that.
He's got to buy back. I don't know what he's waiting for.
Yeah, you need to kiss this as well. Oh, apparently every team is going to retreat, actually.
I think this is a mistake. There we go. Hey, you're a decent amount of catch with your Blink Scatterblast on.
Oh, what about the strike?
Wow.
Oh, Mini! Oh, he took down the chances of them recovering that team fight in one fellow swoop.
A mini Ravage right there.
Ah, ha-ha! Lay on words in this stream is supreme.
Yes, indeed. Compared to Shiva Ravage. Mini Ravage!
You were actually watching us the other day, so I hope you're only praising her.
Oh, it was praise. Come on now.
Best hostess in Dota 2.
For sure. Best host in Dota 2.
Yes. I imply hostess because of the gender, but it's true.
No, I mean, just best host in general, all right? I'll go with that.
I agree. Except for Avo Plus. Love that guy.
Well, host Avo Plus is okay. He's okay.
Cast Avo Plus, that's where he shines, really.
All right, 1 minute until Roche is up, so it's going to be the Goldilocks of Roche. Not too long, not too short, just enough to really raise the blood pressure of both teams involved and to try and get a little bit of vision set up here around the pit. Still having control over the outpost is Balrogs, so that's going to be on the to-do list here for Apu Kings. Yes, they got the buyback out of all 3 cores here. Roboseta, his buyback is coming off cooldown in just 20 seconds. Razor and the Snap not as lucky, but the supports do have buyback. although Io can always TP back into the fight with Relocate, definitely want to make sure the Tiny is going to have to make a little bit of a longer run. Jupiter Hane's going to capture it twice just to make sure this wasn't cleaned in sprint cleaning.
Nice.
Why would it be?
Double damage. Lunia. Okay, that arena got wasted. Berna at least gets blocked in the beginning. He has Divine Rapier, by the way. He can't die here. Berna, better keep your distance. BKB used metals as well. Relocate will save him. Or, not really. Relocate just puts him in a different position. Now they do refresh here. They're going straight for the Terrorblade, but Berna is being surrounded by heroes. He's stunned now. He can't kill a TV anymore because of the arena. He's standing just outside the arena. The Relocate will send him back in, though. And they do manage to finish on the TV thanks to the Mortimer's Kisses, which works well. Mars is currently dead for too long. Benny is forced to buy back here, but he has no Metamorphosis. TP immediately by Argentine, and they have no stuns.
Wow. Okay.
It kind of worked. They have a chance now.
This is a
DXCA,
game.
They're still going for him.
That's fine. He has buyback. That's fine.
He does, yeah.
That's amazing. The Robosetta dying here is going to be the biggest deal. He does not have buyback. Actually, pardon me, I really misread that. He had a buyback earlier. Tiny's going to buy back now as Roshan number 3 is up. They forced out so much from Apu Kings. This has a refresher shard on it. This is going to be so punishing if Apu Kings can take this. And they've got the numbers to do it, and in fact, they've got the damage more so. Should be relatively trivial for them here. The smoke is coming, at least from the Razor. Bedna making his way on through downtown, walking fast, but he's going to be stunned. Stunned a second time and killed. There's a dieback for him. Not even the relocate from Sexy Yogi could get him out. Sexy Yogi, he is certainly going to die. The cookie will get him out of a tough spot here, but even in 3 more seconds, his days were numbered. Got buyback, but without his Razor, and now Divine Rapier on the deck, and in the inventory of who? Who's got that Divine? Of Ogre?
It doesn't matter who got the Divine. That was such a big mistake there by Balrogs, man. They lost the plot. They got too stressed out towards the end. That's unfortunate because they actually had a really good team fight afterwards. And honestly, Better has been playing such a clean and great game overall. And then initiating onto the Roche pit without BKB, man.
Yep.
Or refreshing.
That was tough.
Go, Serum. Push now. You have Bloodlust, gives you more attack speed.
Yep. Go ahead and take the 25 talent. Fire blast these towers. They're going to try and nuke. They're nuking the wave. Good fortifying reaction from Apu Kings. The thought process, of course, is they were hoping to at least get backdoor to kick in. Find a little bit more time, 30 seconds off of the respawn timer of the Razor, who has died back. Get that penalty applied. Great shackles. They're buying as much time as they can here, Avo, but I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, it's sad because even though that game was greatly played by Apu Kings, I feel like it had a lot more to do with Balrogs as a team towards the end. Mini, of course, adding some shame to the fire, some wood to the fire there just towards the end. Forteca, of course, yeah. And I don't know, that last game, that last fight, it just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth because I think Balrogs played a wonderful game and it was much better than the Beast Coast game. I think they held their composure a lot more towards the end, but they weren't able to be consistent enough against Apu Kings, who's gone through all that Balrogs is going through right now and more, and they've already surpassed that era of crazy teamfight Dota and inconsistencies.
Yeah, again, I mean, just looking at the small things that Apu Kings there, when I was kind of hyping up that third Roche fight, I was saying Apu Kings, they want to capture this outpost, right? I say that for a reason. The best teams will do that in those instances where that fight goes south. They have somewhere to TP to, so those buybacks are actually meaningful, right? Otherwise, like Balrogs, they buy back, it's okay. They can't TP back into the fight instantly. They have that dire outpost, so everyone is there. Sure, 6, 7, 8 second TPs, but Balrogs, they just can't sustain through the fights. Their buybacks are not going to be as impactful because they don't have the TP spot. So Apu Kings, they look good. They do a couple of really consistent plays to get back in this game, specifically that smoke wraparound after they lost second Roche, and they take the series. A very good series between Balrogs and Apu Kings, but I think Apu Kings just proving why, they were placed second place in the regional finals, right? So definitely not to be trifled with.
No, third. Infamous was second place, but still. It's still very... Oh, actually, no, sorry, fourth. Thunder Awakened was third. But it's okay, you're right. They went to the regional finals. They got to play that tournament. They placed fourth in the DPC as well. They're a team with a lot of progress still to be made. I think they're one of the much newer teams in the DPC. But we saw what that progress looks like. Balrogs looking like them a year ago. I've been reharping this over and over again. And Balrogs, it's just sad for them to lose this way, especially when they don't have their offlaner. It feels like they just needed that extra bit of oomph in their team fight that unfortunately Argentine wasn't really bringing, neither in game 2 nor in game 3. Better performance in game 3 for sure than game 2. That's just because, let's be honest, game 2 performance for Argentina was a 0. Like, it's honestly so easy to top that. So we'll see what the panel has to say as we go into the last panel of the day, and we say goodbye to the SA. Dota. Richie with the last goodbye there. No words for it, just a wave. Duster, Sexy Fat. Seems like you guys broke the curse. Apple Kings did indeed win. Feels good, feels good. That last fight, though, was cursed. I'm sure both of you have been in that position where you like look at that fight, you make a dumb mistake like that, and you go, "Oh my god, what did we just do?" How is Berna feeling right now? How does that go? Give me a bit of insight, Duster.
He shouldn't feel bad. Like, he played a great game. I feel like team just couldn't end fast enough, and this TB was just unstoppable. Like, but it sucks when the game gets to this point where you have a rapier and one mistake can end the game. But you shouldn't feel bad with the way they played, especially the standing. They looked very good. Just lacked a bit of discipline that maybe, surprisingly, King Tekka could bring.
Yeah, that is wild that we're saying that. Sexy Fat, were you happier with Argentina's performance here on the Snapfire offlane the last game?
No, this last game, I think he did not play the 100% he could, but what can he do? Just a standing.
Sure. Can you give me some points that you thought could be improved in the team fights, maybe?
For Balrogs?
Argentina. Yeah, no, for Argentina specifically, because you're my offlane guy in the panel. I'm curious.
I think he entered in some fights earlier than he needed to, and
fair.
And yeah, that is crucial for offlane. I think that's it. Like, he needed to enter when he sees the target correctly to go in. Sometimes he entered and he just got focused and died without even using his spells. So it felt really awkward.
Duster, let's go to the other side. Apple Kings. I've been harping on this idea that like they used to be this kind of crazy team a year ago. Now they're much better. Do you agree with me? Do you see this improvement on them as a team?
Yeah, for sure. Not long ago, they were second division even. Like, they went to first, and now they're top 4 in the region. Like, it's huge improvement for a team that came from second division. Most of the teams that come from second division, they actually just drop again right away. So it's like huge improvement, and maybe this one they can even achieve higher than top 4. We'll see.
Actually, I love that point, Duster, because SA, if you don't count teams that like drop because they've been dropped as players, which Western Europe has had a couple of them, SA is actually the region who's had, roster shuffles aside, the most Div 2 teams that actually have gone to Div 1 and stayed there, with Hokora being one of them, Apple Kings being the other. Most other regions, like SCA, for example, they have a couple of those teams, but they don't count because it's mostly to roster shuffles. Same with Western Europe. So you're right. There's a lot of improvement here. There's a lot more room to grow. What do you think is the next step for Apple Kings here, Sexy Fat? You were on the team. If you were there still, what would be the next step towards their improvement?
I think they need to chill a bit on those aggressive plays. Like, they want to defend every single tower. Like, the time they chill a bit, they farm their BKBs, they picked a good fight, the game changed like from water to wine. Just because they chill a bit, got those times they needed, and I think that's it. They need to chill a bit and pick up their fights a little bit better.
Okay. But do you think that there's already been improvement in that front, though, from seeing them like a year and a half ago?
Yeah, sure, definitely. And that's, yeah.
Good. I like the storyline that we're making for them. As we close off, I would love to get an interview with Apple Kings, but I am at the mercy of their manager, and their manager is not answering me. So I apologize for that. We're probably going to have to save that for the next broadcast. That said, as I always like to end on a positive note, Duster, for Balrogs, you told me that you liked an aggressive play style before. What is it that you thought really shone through this game?
Once again, like, I love the IO Razor combination. You can see how well they play when they play aggressive. Yeah. And for me, again, one of the strongest combinations. I love their draft. I love this tiny flex playing like 3-4 positions. That's like amazing. And yeah, I'm really excited to see them play against with King Tekka. It's really sucked that they are 0-2 right now, but I expect them to be a lot higher in the upcoming games.
Okay. Sexy Fat, what is your positive note on Balrogs?
Yeah, I was just looking forward to see Balrog's full potential. Sadly, King Tekka couldn't show up for the game today, but yeah, I hope they make better games because they will need it. They will face better teams. Yeah.
A positive note with a little bit of darkness to it. Thank you, Sexy Fat there. Beware, Balrogs are going to be facing better teams. We'll see what happens in the next match for SA. But tomorrow we will not be here for Div 1. We're going to take a small break. We will be back on Sunday. So if you guys are interested in more SA Dota, we do recommend that you follow this channel and check us out then. We hope you enjoyed the games today. My name is Epulze, joined by the wonderful Duster and Sexy Fat, two pro players analyzing your games. What more do you want? Wonderful insight. Talk about the region, insider stories. That's the kind of panels that you guys deserve. So we hope that you check us out yet again with more of this wonderful broadcasting. It's been a pleasure, guys. We hope you enjoyed the games today, and we'll see you again next time. Until then.